How's it going, everybody? It's nighttime here in Mexico City, but I wanted to record one more video because I played some really fun battles in the Little Cup with a Pokemon that you probably didn't expect. So obviously, Baxcalibur is one of the best designs in all of Pokemon Go. I've hit Legend before with Arctibax, but I thought about it and I said, you know what? I've never actually played Frigibax. And I think that little holiday cup is probably the best chance to do it. So we did exactly that. And not only did we lock in the Frigibax, we also brought our Arctibax, and the kicker is that both of those Pokemon are only single moved. So let's get into these battles right away. We're gonna jump right into game number one here against one of my dear friends. This is Oakenfold, which is a trainer I've known for quite some time, a very dear friend of mine. We have the shiny Ferrothorn in the lead, and now we have our Frigibax safe swap. Now this is already looking pretty tough because fire is a tough typing for our team, but we're gonna try and do our best. Dragon Claw does connect. In comes Talonflame, and we're unable to get to the second Dragon Claw, which is really tough. I'm starting to get the feeling this might be a triple fire team, but I really hope not, because if it is, we have basically no chance to win. They throw the third Incinerate on the Talonflame. I'm forced to shield. I actually went with Dragon Claw on Frigibax and then Icy Wind on Arctibax because I like to slow things down in certain matchups. Now this Charizard has gotten me really weak, but my only hope here is to try and farm it down with the Dragon Breaths. I shield the Dragon Claw and I'm able to almost get the farm down. Now it's all up to Ferrothorn. In comes the Talonflame. I'm gonna fire off as many Metal Claws as I possibly can, and my opponent actually just lets me farm them down. Oakenfold thought that I had another dragon in the back. I DM'd him right after the game. I did not, my friend. He was already KO'd. GG's. We're gonna jump right into game number two. This is one of the main pivot points for, main pressure points, I should say, for the Ferrothorn is so many fairy type Pokemon. But if you do see something like a Litleo, it can be really disastrous. So I actually fired a Metal Claw before I swapped, and that's gonna cost me dearly because now I get absolutely farmed down with Incinerate, which is a huge, huge mistake that I really cannot afford. Because when I see a Litleo, I need to immediately swap and control switch advantage. I didn't do that this time. It really is going to hurt me in the end. Miltank comes in here, and I really wish that I could have taken control of Switch, because then I could have thrown an Icy Wind maybe into the Miltank and then brought in the Ferrothorn to take it down. But now I'm trapped with Frigibax versus Miltank, and I know this Body Slam is going to do a lot of damage, a lot more damage than I'm comfortable. But I have to let it through. I get some Dragon Breaths. I switch back into Ferrothorn now. Now that the Litleo is gone, there might be a slight chance here, but it's still going to be pretty tough. Body Slam does connect, and Wigglytuff comes back in. Yeah, this is a little tricky. A lot of normal bulk to work through, but I like that they brought in the Wigglytuff. It actually gives me a slight chance here. I'm gonna go ahead and fire off the Mirror Shot and hopefully get close to a KO. I don't want to have to shield anything here. Two more Metal Claws will actually do it, and maybe there is still a win con because of my shiny Ferrothorn. Yes, there is. Even though we messed up and didn't control switch advantage, we're still able to take the win, which is really, really nice. Going into this next game against Wabo Jack, we're going to go ahead and lead our Ferrothorn into Gligar this time. Gligar is a core breaker for the team. If I don't see an overwhelmingly positive lead for Ferrothorn, I'm just going to swap into my Frigibax. They actually come in with not even Servine, right? This is actually Snivy, and I'm going to get a full Dragon Breath down. Now we're going to see what Frigibax can really do in the little holiday cup. In comes Litwick. Gonna try to time my Dragon Breath as well. I'm gonna throw one single Dragon Breath, convert that into the Dragon Claw. Right after this, we're actually able to do it. Now I think I can do like three. I'm gonna try for odd numbers, 3 or 5. I'm gonna try to do it in 3. I throw it in bad timing. I throw after 4, but I still get the third Dragon Claw, which is absolutely massive because now Litwick is deep into the red. We actually are able to Dragon Breath all the way down. This Pokemon is so broken. I wanted to preserve the 3-ball flex, but instead I'm going to come in with the Ferrothorn and try to force this Gligar to spend some of its energy that it does have. So gonna throw the dig. I switch into the Arctibax now, and I'm gonna look for the big Dragon Breath down, and we are not able to get it, but you know what? For science, let's see how much this does. This is gonna be dig. It's not enough. Arctibax barely hangs on and able to get the win there. So as you can tell, fire is not friendly to this team. I tried to run this team recently, and there was just way too much fire in the meta, so watch out for that. We're gonna see Ferrothorn lead into the Ducklet. This is a water gun Ducklet, so it's going to charge a lot more slowly than it would with Wing Attack. I'm going to let this through. I think this is just a Bubble Beam. Turns out I'm right. Coming with the Amara, which is a little bit tough. but I'm able to try to time my Dragon Breaths to get to the Dragon Claw. It's so wonky. It's so freaking hilarious seeing me play with just single move Pokemon, but I just want to show you that in Little Cup, you really can make minimal investment for solid returns. So Dragon Claw does get fired off there. I take both shields from Mamara, and now you're gonna see the double super effective Metal Claws, absolutely stripping down the HP here of this Pokemon. Weather Ball connects, it hurts quite a bit, but now look at the Metal Claw damage, it's so insane. When you're double super effective, that's the kind of damage output you get. Weather Ball does get shielded. I look for actually the Power Whip on this Ducklet. I just want this Ducklet out of here. I don't want to switch into my Arctibax and then get bubble beamed and be forced to, you know, be slowed down. They come in with the Squovit, and I gotta say this is GG's. I don't care if this is Crunch, Trailblaze, Body Slam, Giga Impact. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, maybe one day. But we're able to go ahead and fire out the Icy Wind here. This is gonna be more than enough to KO this Squovit. And my opponent has the Amara, but a few more Dragon Breaths tie that up as well. So this team has been really fun. Little Cup is a little bit of a toss-up, right? We're able to cinch a 4-1 off our first set, which is really, really nice. And the Dragons are more surprising than I thought. It really kind of took me back to Retro Cup, when I could play triple dragons, right? When I was playing Dragonair safe swap into a Frostlass meta. That's what this team really reminds me of, and it definitely has a special place in my heart, which is really, really special. So we're gonna take on W. Myers. They're gonna lead the Gauntlet. This is a bit of an interesting matchup, but I'm gonna go ahead and swap to the Dragon. Again, if I don't see an overwhelmingly positive matchup, I'm gonna switch, but I did learn there that maybe, just maybe, based on the timing, because I think it's 4 Mud Slaps to the Brick Break, yeah, I might have been able to switch in and get that Dragon Claw on CMP, but it would have been very close. We're gonna get the Joltik coming in here. Now remember, I did switch, my opponent did not, so I do not have control of switch advantage. I'm actually gonna wait out my timer for that exact reason. I really don't wanna bring in Ferrothorn. I think I'm forced to bring in my second Dragon, which is also not great because if there's a fire type in the back or a fighting type, well, I guess fighting wouldn't matter because I'm ice anyway, but still, bear with me. We're gonna see the Sand Slash come in here. I hope I can hang on through a Drill Run, but this might just be an Ice Punch. It was pretty quick. It is just the Ice Punch. Gonna look for a few more Metal Claws. Gonna go for the Mirror Shot here to try to take the shield, but I doubt that I get it. I actually do get it, which is kind of crazy, and the attack drop, but my buttons didn't show up, but it really didn't matter. I wasn't even close to the Icy Wind. If you go back and look at the recording, as I did, I'm still like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 Dragon Breaths away, so no big deal there. We lost to the Sand Slash, which, as you saw from the last video, absolutely busted Pokemon. I definitely recommend you play that. We're gonna see a Cottony lead. This is a Primo lead, with the best lead we can possibly get with our Ferrothorn. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a Mirror Shot here. Seed Bomb, Grass Knot, there's really no coverage move here on the Cottony that I need to worry about. It also has a little crown, which is really nice, but unfortunately my Ferrothorn is not going to be nice to it. I'm curious why my opponent is staying in. They might have an Amara in the back or something else weak to Ferrothorn, so I'm going to look one eye on the swap. This is probably a mistake. I don't think I needed to throw the Mirror Shot here, but if my opponent doesn't know the moveset, they'll shield, and luckily I do get away with it. So if I had to do this again, I would not throw the Mirror Shot. I would just immediately swap into the Frigibax. Cross Poison does get shielded. In comes Ducklet. So yeah, they were ABA weak to the Ferrothorn, but now the problem is that when I bring that Pokemon back in, I might not get to the Power Whip in time, which would be really tough. But Frigibax is putting in some work. I'm a Dragon type. I resist water. Let's see. And we actually hang on quite comfortably. I think my opponent either undercharged or no bubbled that. Didn't do much damage. Also ironic, no bubbling a Bubble Beam. I see you out there. Gonna look for the big farm down, which is really nice. In comes the Joltik, and Arctibax is absolutely shredding. That's what I'm telling you. If you don't see fire types in the meta, if you don't see Annihilate in the meta, this team is really, really fun. We're gonna see Ferrothorn into Lit Leo. Let's see what we can do about this. Gonna swap right into the Arctibax. The reason I like to go into Arctibax, there are actually 2 facets of it. The first is that it's just a little bit bulkier, or excuse me, a little bit more attack weighted than the Frigibax, so I'm able to win more 2-shield scenarios. And secondly, I can throw the Icy Wind and debuff something, which I really love doing that. It actually sets up my Ferrothorn really nicely. So even if you lose the switch-in matchup, let's say they swap in Charizard against you, if you can get to the Icy Wind, you can still slow it down and make the matchup a little more palatable for whatever Pokemon you have in the back. Body Slam's not going to do anything. This is a Razor Leaf Body Slam Turtwig, and I feel so bad because I love Turtwig, but this Pokemon's getting annihilated. Looking for the instant swap, we go back into the Frigibax and we get a massive Dragon Breath down before the opponent can even get to a move. Now they come in with Galarian Moltres. I know that's going to be, what is it, 8 Sucker Punches to the Ancient Power, so I really don't need to worry. I'm going to go ahead and throw off the Dragon Claw to take the shield. My opponent is building a ton of energy, but I still have 2 shields in my court. I do not want to get hit with a Brave Bird right now. I don't want to flex that hard. Just an Ancient Power, but regardless, I'm going to fire off my Mirror Shot. If the first one doesn't do it, the second one will. My opponent does hang on through the first one. I go for one more Metal Claw, and that is GG's. I think they actually top left it when it was all said and done. Taking on Delm Corval. Interesting name. Another Litleo. Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to go ahead and instant swap into the Arctibax yet again. As you can see here, though, I am taking a ton of Incinerate damage. I will be able to hang on through one more, but not much more than that. And you could argue here as well, I should have waited to throw the Icy Wind to give this Ducklet less farm, but I'm also able to get more Dragon Breath. So it's kind of like a give or take how you want to play the situation. I'm going to wait down the switch timer, though. That is one thing that I will do, certainly, because I do not want to allow that Litleo to come in and farm. Actually, you'll see me as well pause again against the Ducklet, because I don't, actually, no, I'm going to Metal Claw all the way down. Now that my switch timer is up, I feel safe Metal Clawing all the way down. If this is Bubble Beam, I don't care. If it's Brave Bird, that sucks. It's Bubble Beam, so it's fine. I'm going to go for the instant swap. My opponent, again, throws the Incinerate, and the 5 Dragon Breaths are all that I need to get the KO. Now it's a Lotad in the back. This is a Razor Leaf Lotad Water and Grass type. I'm going to try to get a fast move down here. You know what? I'm going to go for the 2 Shield Flex. Hate me, right? Call me toxic, whatever. I'm going to go for the 2 Shield Flex here. My opponent does Bubble Beam. I come in with the Ferrothorn, going for the Metal Claws. No shields were broken in the making of this matchup, so very nice for us. But yeah, let's take on Liliana Syrup as our next opponent. They're going to lead Litwick, so we've got a big problem. Fire types in the lead are no bueno. We're going to swap into our Arctibax per usual. I'm looking at the damage here and trying to kind of, you know, estimate how much damage I'm taking, if I can afford to shield and push through this matchup, or if I should throw the Icy Wind. Opponent actually debuffs me. Oh my god, Chansey. Opponent actually debuffs me with the Mystical Fire, so I'm going to go ahead and build up some extra energy before throwing my Icy Wind into the Chansey. I'm trying to kind of look at the switch timer and say, can I bank an Icy Wind, go back to Ferrothorn? But that's way too ambitious, so I'm not going to try that. But look at how much damage I'm doing to this thing. I mean, this is honestly crazy. Opponent is either going to rock, nice denial there, by the way. Opponent's either going to rock what? Dazzling Gleam, Psychic. Maybe they have, I don't know. I don't even know what else Chansey learns, right? But Psychic is what I'm worried about. They switch into the Litwick. We are fast on our reflexes. We go right back to the Frigibax. If I remember, this is a tough matchup because it takes so long. Pound is not a good energy generating move, and thankfully that's what Chansey has, because if it had better moves, it would be all Ogre. All right, this is actually a pretty tough matchup, and it goes on forever just because that Chansey is so annoying and so bulky. We're going to go ahead and shield here. This is what I think is going to be a Psychic. I mean, there's really nothing else that we need to fear, right? Going to go for the big Dragon Breath down, and we're able to get it. The question is, what is the third Pokemon in the back? It's actually a Ducklet. So there actually might be a chance here. It's going to be firing some Water Guns at us, which is not a big deal. As a Dragon type or as a Steel Grass type, I need both of these shields gone. I don't think my opponent is likely to shield the second Dragon Claw, but they do not. Now at this point, I'm going to go for double Mirror Shots, and hopefully I can take away that final shield and get the KO. Excuse me, I do get the final shield there. Ducklet is going to charge up. It probably has close to the Brave Bird, maybe just the Aerial Ace. It's just an Aerial Ace. We hang on. Can we get to the Power Whip here as the Ferrothorn? Yes, we can, which is so huge. So even though they had that bulky HP wall that was a Chansey, we are still able to take it down. Ferrothorn going to fire off the Power Whip. That is a KO into that Ducklet, and that is a very good GG's to my opponents there. That was actually a really fun set as well. That was another 4-1, so I think we went 8-2 with a double single move Dragon team, which is absolutely insane in Little Holiday Cup. And as I said in my Rockstar Pikachu video, if you want to bookmark a team to potentially play the week after this week, which is when Holiday Cup returns, this team might be for you. Just watch out for the fire types. I did see a lot more of them in recent battles, so definitely be careful of that. But regardless, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I hope to see you in the next video.